What's up guys, it's Endymion, and today I got the next video in the Iceberg Explained series. This time it's all about the science fiction RPG masterpiece that many consider to be the greatest Mass Effect game ever created. The Empire Strikes Back of video game sequels, and a game that was so challenging to make, BioWare's own developers worked themselves to exhaustion in order to meet expectations. So let's begin the Mass Effect 2 Iceberg Explained. Did you know that all recruitment options were originally available from the beginning? Some players went into the actual code of the game and discovered that various squad members actually have fully voiced dialogue options in missions they aren't even capable of being in. Which, in hindsight, I would have loved to have every character available from the get-go, but it is what it is. In the original build of the game, every single romance option was available regardless of your Shepard's gender. So you're telling me I could have swapped Spit with Garrus as male Shepard? Maybe BioWare could patch that in one day. I'm just kidding. Unless... This next fact is about my personal favorite squad member in Mass Effect 2. Did you know that Morden's face was based off of Clint Eastwood? As if Morden wasn't badass enough. Speaking of Morden, he's also the only squad member whose voice actor changes between Mass Effect 2 and 3. If I'm being honest, I didn't even notice this myself. Did you know the main game designer, whose name is Christina Norman, actually increased the health and damage of every enemy within Mass Effect 2 by 20% the day before the game was finalized? And not only that, she didn't even tell anyone that she did this. So if the Harbinger enemies were giving you trouble around launch, it's all her fault. Thanks, Christina. Very cool. In Kasumi's loyalty mission, you can see a statue of an ogre from Dragon Age Origins in the vault. Fans have speculated for years that both Dragon Age and Mass Effect exist in the same universe. This next fact comes courtesy of Mass Effect Facts over on Twitter, who you should definitely follow. They recently posted a fact saying, quote, "The cabin cuddles with the love interest, as well as Kelly's dancing in Mass Effect 2, were all last-minute additions done a week before content lockdown. Voiceover work was locked down long before, hence why they're all silent." Very interesting. Did you know that Liara's voice actress, Ali Hillis, also does the voice for Lightning in the Final Fantasy games? Although this could just be a coincidence, in the layer of the Shadow Broker DLC, Liara's main concern is to save her friend, a Drell named Farron, from the clutches of the Broker. This is really interesting because Lightning's real name in Final Fantasy XII is Claire Farron. Coincidence? I think not. This next fact is actually about, well, all of us. Did you know that BioWare originally didn't plan to have Tali or Garrus be romanceable, but the fans requested it so heavily that BioWare had to implement it? So, as always, BioWare fans are the horniest fan base in gaming. You're all filthy, and I love it. Speaking of romances, originally Mass Effect 2 had 2 additional same-sex romance options in the form of Jack for FemShep and Jacob for MaleShep. But BioWare unfortunately cut these options out of fear of people who are against same-sex romances at the time. Which is stupid, cause who cares who someone likes? These romances even had dialogue and scenes recorded, but they were never added, even in the Legendary Edition, which is too bad. The mission N7 Abandoned Research Station is a mission within Mass Effect 2 all about Shepard discovering what happened to a crew on a derelict ship that are all dead. It's revealed eventually that the ship's virtual intelligence killed the crew after discovering it was going to be shut down. This entire mission is a reference to the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's a really long movie if you haven't seen it, but it's worth watching for sure. The ending is kinda weird though. Did you know that Arya, the ruler of Omega, is voiced by Carrie-Anne Moss, who plays Trinity in the Matrix movies? Well, now you do. When facing against mechs in the game, the mechs have names like Loki, Ymir, and Fenris, which are all characters in Norse mythology. Fenris is especially interesting since it ties into another BioWare game, in this case Dragon Age, in the form of Fen'Harel the Dreadwolf. Man, I can't wait for Dragon Age 4. Mass Effect 2 is also the only game in the trilogy where during its campaign you control someone else besides Shepard. That of course being Joker when the Collectors board the Normandy and abduct everyone. Miranda Lawson was originally named Miranda Solheim and was supposed to be blonde, but after finalizing the Cerberus uniform, BioWare felt that the blonde hair clashed with the outfit, so Miranda was given black hair instead. Also regarding Miranda, her last name Solheim was due to BioWare wanting the character to be Scandinavian born. But once actress Yvonne, I'm gonna butcher her last name, Strahovski, was cast as Miranda, BioWare decided to model the character after Yvonne, and since Yvonne has an Australian accent, Solheim didn't reflect her origin anymore, so Lawson, an Australian last name, was chosen instead. Nice. Martin Sheen plays the Elusive Man, who Sheen says he believes the character is a terrible human being and he has nothing in common with the character at all, which is funny to know. Also, Sheen doesn't smoke while the Elusive Man does, so when Sheen was recording lines that had smoking in between sentences, Sheen would suck on a pen to emulate a cigarette. Good for you, Martin Sheen. You did a great job playing a very evil man, which is funny considering his son is Charlie Sheen, and I mean, that guy is... Anyways, moving on. Also during Miranda's loyalty mission, she'll complain that the elevator Shepard and her get on is taking way too long, which is a reference to players complaining that the elevators took forever in the original Mass Effect. I actually like the elevators myself, but the more you know. Mass Effect 2 went through a lot of design changes over the course of its development. The HUD was changed 8 times. The basic shooting mechanics took roughly 3 months before it even felt decent, and BioWare made the game's action its #1 priority with the sequel since many complaints were thrown at the original for its less than stellar shooter mechanics. I like the original game's shooting, but whatever. Also, this is crazy to think, Mass Effect 2 has a total of 90 voice actors who played 546 different characters with roughly 25,000 lines of dialogue. Voice recording also took twice as long as the original Mass Effect. Which makes sense. I mean, 546 characters? Really? There's that many? Damn, that's a lot of people. Casey Hudson, the game's director, also said that the 2 major problems the team had to overcome was firstly that BioWare's economic situation wasn't great due to the global recession going on at the time, which ultimately limited Mass Effect 2's budget. And around this time in 2009, hey, that rhymed, the flu pandemic left a large majority of BioWare extremely sick and unable to work during the last stretch of the game's development. So a lot of suffering went into the creation of Mass Effect 2. And even with a flu pandemic and a global recession and only 2 years of development time, Mass Effect 2 is currently, as of today, the highest rated game in the series, with a staggering 96 out of 100 on Metacritic, and it deserves it. Mass Effect 2 is considered to be so good that it was actually selected to be displayed in the Art of Video Games exhibit in the Smithsonian American Art Museum for everyone to appreciate, which is great, but also kind of funny considering that BioWare is a Canadian company and not American. Hell yeah. Mass Effect 2 was so critically acclaimed that it won multiple Game of the Years, Best RPG, Best Writing, and Best Story awards at multiple publications when it released. It also sold, when combined with the original Mass Effect sales, around 7 million units combined in its initial release. About 10% of those sales were on PlayStation 3, which at the time was not the native platform for Mass Effect games, which was actually the PC and Xbox 360. And finally, here's a fact about Mass Effect 2, and well, me. Mass Effect 2 is my favorite game in the series. It's also one of my favorite games of all time, and in my opinion, has one of the greatest rosters of characters in video games, period. It's an iconic science fiction epic that confidently evolves its world while making everything from the previous game better and more streamlined. Mass Effect 2 is, in my opinion, a video game masterpiece. Well guys, that's the Iceberg explained on Mass Effect 2. What are some facts or things you think about the second game in the trilogy? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe to give my life meaning, and thank you for the support on the original Mass Effect Iceberg explained video, which if you haven't watched is also on my channel. Thanks to my patrons for their support. The link for that is in the description box below. And I'm Endymion. These videos are a little more work than usual to make, but they're fun to do. Let me know if there's other games you guys want to see me do this video idea with as well in the future. A Mass Effect 3 and Andromeda Iceberg explained videos are also on their way, so look forward to that, and thank you for all your support. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.